Hello and welcome back to Frostpunk. In our last episode, we made it barely into day 5 here, and we are now starting to deal with the beginning of the cold here with having to use gathering posts instead of gathering straight from the ground, and building houses to keep everyone sheltered and warm. And at minus 40, it's not doing a great job, but it's doing a job. And we can probably build... Actually, let's go ahead and do that now. Nope. Tech. Build a steam hub out here someplace to keep some of these houses warm. I think I want it... here or there? What are you covering? That much? I think I want it there. No, actually I don't. I want it back here someplace. We'll go with there. Okay, let's unpause and let the game run. I'm gonna cancel this this house here. And, put the house here instead, where it can be connected to this road, and then we'll just wedge in the one in the middle in the morning, as previously discussed in the last episode. Food is still a problem. We don't really be complaining about being hungry yet, but we have used up all of our food for the day. And of course, our two hunter huts have their fleets of hunters, or their troops of hunters out collecting food right now. But they're only going to bring back 40, which is going to make us 200 rations, 240 at most, and we're gonna get 200 rations out of that, which should be enough for the day. I think we should start gaining a little bit here, but we'll figure that out in the when the day breaks. Okay, we can introduce a new law now. So the next laws that I do kind of vary a little bit. I think I'm gonna do the sustain life law. This is kind of to the point where I don't do specific laws in a specific order anymore. The public house is not a bad idea to do, but it requires a building to be built. So it won't be too long before we do that one. Click back out thing, thank you. The other one I do over here is child shelters, which requires buildings to be built as well. So I don't want to do that one this early either. And then I'll usually wait and do cemetery if I have someone pass, or once I'm to this point, because it also requires a building to be built. So I think sustain life is the best one to do. Both of these cause hope to rise slightly and discontent to rise slightly. Radical treatment, however, will leave people as amputees, whereas sustain life will leave them dependent upon us for palliative care in the medical posts until we get infirmaries. So I think the better option here is sustain life for this, and hoping that we don't actually have any gravely ill before too long. Yes, I know, we need an infirmary. We just talked about that. If you were paying attention, you would know. Alright, so let's speed up time a little bit here and get through the rest of the night. And the scouts just returned. I forgot about them being out, or getting close, I mean. So, we've now scouted everything that's available to us except for the quest point here. So we're going to now go to the quest. And let's speed up time and get to the beginning of the day, right there. And then slow down here. We have some sick 7 sick absences. That's pretty bad. But let's get a house, or tent built here. And then we'll build our arc road like this. Can I build it all the way? Yes, I can. The one cook should still be enough. We had 80. How did we get 80 food? These each bring back 20. How did we get 80 rations? Oh, the scouts brought back some. Duh. Okay, and then maybe another medical post would be good right here. That's what I saved that spot for. And then I want to move our... as soon as this is gone, I want to move this out into this general area here. We brought back a bunch more people, but they don't count for the quest, so I'm not worried about them right now. We will very soon, but not right now. Let's see, what do we have left here? We have steel, coal, steel. I think we need another sawmill. Resources, sawmill. And that's going to go, I think, in the same line as this one. I think that's a good spot. We'll go there anyway. And then I'm going to take its road this way. And we'll build that sawmill and have a good old time. Unemployed workers, which we'll deal with soon. Please let this finish in time. Get workers building a house there. Come on, 13 hours? No, that's not good enough. More workers, please. Okay, steel wreckage depleted here. So I need to dismantle this gathering put. Why did it have engineers on that? Please build faster. Please, please, please. 3 hours. Good, good, good. 2, 1. Done. Okay. Shelter promise fulfilled once again. Close that. And we also deleted this rest of the steel here, so this can also get deconstructed, dismantled. Steelworks is done on the research front here. Let's see. We did those. We did those. We've done everything we can here, so now we need drawing boards. And I don't always do everything in one tier before I move on to the next. It just kind of worked out that way this time. Let's see here. Oh, it's assign engineers to this work spot. We'll put some people in there. We need to also set up a sawmill, or steelworks, I mean. The steelworks harvests this patch of iron ore out here, and you can have, there's only one of these. You can have 2 steelworks connected to it. Both of them are going to delete a few trees. You can't avoid that unless I'd put a sawmill out here, which I honestly didn't think of until just now. But we're going to put one out here like this, and then we'll bring this in. I don't know, maybe just to here for now. I'm probably going to adjust this road a little over time. On pause. 2 days worth of coal. That should be fine. Those are being dismantled. That's being built. We can probably build some more houses now. Yeah, I think so. Since everything we're building now is, I think, everything we need. Although we probably should build some more fighting arenas, actually. So, you can see here, I'm going to leave the timer running. Oh, actually I'm not, because you can't, the timer's not running when you're building. You can see which houses, or which tents rather, which housing is affected by your existing fighting pits, and which ones are not. I could go right here, but I think I'm going to bring it on this side, because that fills in a little bit more up in this area. And I think coming all the way over here is too much overlap. So what I'll end up doing is having another one like out here someplace. Once we build enough houses to fill it in. So we'll put one in right here. And that'll almost have all of our houses satisfied by the fighting pits. And then we also need to build another steam hub. And that's going to have the same kind of deal, where I want it to overlap maybe a little. I'm trying to see which ones there are lit up. Actually, these could be out a little bit further, which we'll do. We'll eventually change the way these work. But for now, I think I want them here because this is where the road is, and they have to be built on a road. Let's do this one. No, let's do this one here, I think. And actually, I think I want another one of those. But we could build some houses in the meantime. Tents, rather. I might have to delete some of these tents and put them back in a little while. 4 more tents is good. And then the next thing that I want to build is we have 10 people who are hungry even though we have food for them. Let's put another engineer in here. I think like one cook per hunter's hut is about a good number to have. Oh, and this needs workers. And this is going to need workers as soon as it's done being built, which they're still working on the road. Okay. Let's see. That's still going. No, it's not going. Who didn't put workers in here? Oh, no, right. Nope, nope. Sorry. This is still going. Yes. Excellent. It's almost out of steel, though. We're gonna run out of steel in 8 hours of work, I would say. Okay, so I think let's plan for some more stuff. And this is going to be, we need 2 spaces here, I think. Do I want these here, or do I want them out further? Trying to remember if I want a 3rd row of 2 in here for something, or if 1 row is enough.
Night is coming. Put down your tools.
I think I want a 3rd just for my own sanity. So let's do workshop here. This one is, these are 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. That would be 2 more rows of houses if I put this here. And I think that's what I want. Or 2 more rows of double buildings anyway. Yeah, let's go there with it. And I'm going to put in 2 of these. And then a road, of course. See, there's going to be a road in here, which will satisfy both of these too. So out here will be a road. We'll just go that far for right now, since we're low-ish on wood. And we can start collecting steel here also. And then I think the last thing that I want to get started on today is a Coal Thumper. Coal Thumper is kind of like fracking, I guess, in a way. And as you can see in the tooltip here, it produces enough coal to supply 2 gathering posts. So what I want to do here is put in a Coal Thumper, and you can go any of 4 orientations. But if you notice, there's 3 dots on one side. That's where the coal piles appear. So whichever orientation you put it in, you want to make sure that the gathering posts are in that direction. And so what I usually do here is put it on that side. And then I can do gathering posts if I had enough wood. And it's after hours now, so we're not gonna staff this right away. So I'm okay with letting it just get built and go from there. These coal piles have a total of about 1,000 left between the 4 of them, so we have plenty to start the game with, or to continue the game with, because 800 is about 2 days, so that means that 1,000 would be another couple days plus. Okay, I will probably end up doing this one, extra rations for the ill, even though we probably will never use it, although we could. But I don't want to do the overcrowding. I think we're going to use the extra rations for the ill while we're here, because I'm also still not prepared. I'm still not prepared to build anything else at this point, like the public house, child shelters, or the cemetery. So I think we'll just go ahead and do this one, even though I probably will never use it. We do have 20 people out of 22 being treated, which isn't great, but we'll, so I guess we could use it now. It would burn through 10 rations, but would kill the, would let us get rid of 5 of those people and get those last 2 in here. I think I'm going to let it ride. Yeah, I'm going to let it ride. Okay, let's assign some engineers to these buildings, even though they're not yet ready to be staffed. I'm going to leave this one in place for right now. The more workshops you have, the faster, better, easier, whatever the... we're not going to fill that one yet. The science goes, so you want to fill that up as quickly as possible. I think we'll go there with that. And as you can see, we're still having issues with cold. I'm going to turn those heaters on, even though they're not staffed right now. I didn't turn those heaters on. Oops. But we are going to get back up to minus 30 today, so it's also not a huge deal. You can see more people are getting sick because it's nighttime now, and they're not warm. Scouts have reached the sturdy shelter. Let's explore. Trail leads to another city. The shelter is comfortable and well equipped with emergency supplies. There's a notice posted by the heavy round door to all scientists. If you use any supplies, remember to notify the quartermaster upon your return to the city. This means there's another city out there. Signpost by the trail points in 2 directions. London, 1932 miles. Home, 27 miles. Sites discovered, steel bridge, and we're going to get some wood and food and a steam core. Let's continue on to the steel bridge. And again, that's the only place we could go, so we're going to go there. Unpause, and let's jump to 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. I mean. And then we'll go medium speed. This should help with the sickness. Having more heat. Oh, I need to turn that on too. And also, that should help with the sickness. We do not want to turn this generator off. It is not warm enough out here for that. So let's turn these on to full shifts that I forgot to do when we built them. And drawing boards has been researched. So now we have much more available to us. Hothouses, I don't actually use those either. They're an alternative to the hunter's huts, but they require steam cores, and I prefer to use my steam cores in other fashions rather than hothouses, mostly infirmaries toward the end of the game. Although, to be fair, by the time that I need the infirmaries, I won't need the hothouses anymore, but either way. Medical post upgrade, 10% faster is not a bad deal, especially given the amount of sick we have. But they're also going to heal pretty fast now that it's 10 degrees warmer. Bunkhouses will need, but not until the temperature gets cold again, I think, at the earliest. But now with the steam hubs, we may not even need them quite then yet, because that's still only minus 40. Let's see, resources. Resource depot upgrade means that we haven't started using resource depots yet. We're going to very, very soon, but that gives them a 50% additional storage. Coal mining mines those coal nodes that we saw out far away, and also the one down here. We'll get those soon enough. Sawmill upgrade, 25%. 25% efficiency. That's not a bad deal for sawmills, for collecting wood, especially because most of these things still require wood, even though they require steel as well, or many of these things still require wood. So it's not a bad deal. More scouts I will want soon, but not quite yet. And I think I'll wait on that. And then heating, we don't need to boost the power or the range of the generator just yet. I think we'll do that after it drops below -40. And I honestly don't really ever use the range upgrade, except maybe the first one, so I'm not that worried about this chain either. So I think what we're going to do is, I think we're going to do the medical post upgrade first, because that gives us that boosted healing rate, which will be good at this point because we have a lot of sick. Okay, and now it's full work time, even though everybody's been at work for 2 hours now. Everybody's fed, and we need to deal with these extra sick people here quickly as possible. There they go. Okay. And we can start building some of those gathering posts in here. 1, 2, like that. And we have 3 of these warm enough without that? Yeah, we don't need these turned on. We'll turn these off to save heat, or save coal, and all those as well. But this stuff out here, we'll need them turned on once we start using them, because they're chilly. But yes, out here, since they're yellow, livable, I'm not going to go into comfortable at this point in the game on purpose. Original capacity of coal. Alright. I'd like to see. Storing all the things. So we're going to actually need to build a resource depot. Start with just 1. I'm going to build this out here. You can kind of see, I just paused the game here, you can kind of see the edge of the map and how far out some of these things can go. And we kind of end, as far as I can tell at least, the furthest out ones are right in this line here. So I'm going to build here, or here actually, and we'll start at this position, and then where we can fill in behind them, we'll go ahead and fill in behind them, and that just consumed the last of the wood, although not for long. Alright. Yes, I know, storage near capacity. Oh, unpause. And we'll go into medium speed. And you can see it's filling up at 900. That is this, it's filling up at 900. Each resource stores a specific amount here in the in the storage in town, and then they store a certain amount in. Well, we'll see when we get the resource post here done. Steel wreckage depleted. Here, I guess must have been. Yeah, it must have been. Let's do that next research. So we did the medical post upgrade. I think the next one I want to do is probably the sawmill upgrade, just to boost our wood income. Still have coal coming in from all 4 of those, and yeah, that must have been the steel that went. All right, we're whittling through our sick people here. Scouts have reached the bridge to Winterhome. A brass plaque on the bridge tower reads, "Built by the people of Winterhome in 1887. The bridge is kept completely snow-free by a working automaton." Explore. A functional automaton. We stepped at the edge of a deep, wide ravine, marveling at the steel bridge spanning it, even more so at the huge automaton sweeping snow from the roadway. It would be possible to send the machine back to our city or disassemble it for resources. I've played both ways, sending it to the city and getting the resources. In the end, we get enough people that I'm not that worried about having the automaton. So I've kind of leaned more toward the dismantle option, because that gives us 90 steel and 2 steam cores, and I have much better use for steam cores, I think, than having an automaton, especially because, and I'm going to do this and then I'll show you why in a moment, but let's dismantle it. Turn the automaton off and disassemble it, extracting a decent amount of resources. As we were finishing, the first whiffs of snow started to settle on the now empty bridge. Okay, so now we have 2 choices. We have a large convoy or the weather station. Once again, I'm going to take the option that doesn't include the quest line, so we're going to go to the large convoy. And now that we're back in the city, I want to show you why why I chose to not do the automaton, to not take the automaton. The automaton is upgraded here with streamlined automatons and automaton redesign, automaton integration, etc. All of this stuff over here all has to do with automatons. If we aren't going to go into the factory tree, then I don't see the point in getting a limited use automaton. And since I don't usually go into the factory tree, I don't have the availability to work on to upgrade the automaton, so I'm not going to use it. I'll just use the workers that we will continue getting over time, that is. Okay, let's oh. The search for other cities. Deserted bridge. Finding the bridge to Winterhome proved that we were on the right track, but raised questions. Why was the bridge deserted? Why wasn't the automaton under the care of an engineer? There are logical explanations to it all, but people are growing anxious. We'll find out in Winterhome, and hope falls slightly. Okay, so as you can see, the two engineer cooks here have easily cooked through all the food that we earned, or that we acquired earlier in the day. And as soon as this is done now, so the way that resource depots work is you specify which resource you want that depot to store. And so obviously we need to store coal because nothing else is anywhere near maxed out besides coal. And then we can see here that we have one coal storage resource depot out somewhere, and then obviously that little button there will let us click to and find it. We're still working through our sick people.
Finish your labors, people. The work day is up.
I think it's time to build another. Speaking of, I forgot to do that. To build another workshop. But first, let's take... Let's take this one. I'm not ready to take more scouts yet, but I'm getting closer. And let's build another workshop as our kind of nighttime job here, even though we do have 25 free workers, so it can be done anytime. Okay, so this coal pile depleted itself. Now we can dismantle that. We have 150 here, 224 there, 123 there. So now it's going to be time to staff this and this and that. So the, and it's past 20, so it's fine. But so what'll happen is this coal stamper is going to create those 3 piles that we saw there on the ghost. And then these 2 gathering posts will pick up the coal from those piles and haul them to storage, as they do with other things. But as this, as these finish up in the next day, probably, yeah, with about 120, 140 there, I think they're going to finish up in the next day, and we're going to have something else for them to do. Let's go ahead and assign those last 5 engineers to that, and then I think it's time that we can dismantle this one. And in fact, since we're dismantling that one, we could probably build the 4th one. And eventually I'm going to have 5. I'm going to have the whole ring here. Actually, let's go ahead and build the road all the way around. Eventually I'll have 5 here, but I don't have enough engineers just yet. And I see that my scouts are nearing their destination. Slow down and pause, and scouts have reached their destination, the large convoy. This is a convoy carrying workers that got lost in a blizzard. They are weak and have no provisions. We should listen to their story and escort them to our city. They sought Winterhome. The workers who were riding in this convoy told us they were heading for the city of Winterhome. We were supposed to follow the signal from the beacon, but we couldn't pick it up, they say. We tried to follow a search pattern to find it, but we ran out of fuel. So again, we have escort, send, and leave, which I think we have at every survivors, refugees kind of thing here. So we're going to, of course, escort them back to the city. And yes, I am still putting off the second scout team for a reason. Alright, let's go ahead and assign those 5 people there. This, and shouldn't need heat yet. Nope, not there. Oh, and the reason these don't need their heaters on, even though these do, is because of that here, base heating level of 2. Here in resources, the gathering posts have a base heating level of 1. So that's what makes the difference between the oh, it's inoperative because there's any coal yet. Between the buildings that are able to, at 30 degrees minus, that are able to be yellow, and the buildings that need a heater to be yellow. And then obviously at different levels. But like the medical posts here, they have a base heating level of 1, but they're inside the ring, so they can be turned off as well. Did we not get a lot of food back today? That's a bummer. I didn't notice if there were any sick absences. We're going to have to build another hunter's hut here pretty soon. Are you getting more sick people, or did they come up overnight that I didn't notice? Overnight, okay. Resource depot upgrade researched. I think we're going to unlock drafting machines, the next tier of researches. And then we also have the ability to sign a law. And I think now might be an okay time to do the public house law. Let's build the public house. And this is, of course, a 3x3 building. So I'm going to build it out here. This is kind of the area that I've reserved for or 3x5 buildings, I mean. The area I've reserved for the 3x5s out here. So I'm going to go ahead and build it out here. It doesn't have to be in a specific place in your city, so I just kind of build it wherever it kind of fits the grid, so to speak. Alright, and this coal pile is depleted, so we can dismantle that. I'm going to take the 10 engineers out. Oops, did I do the wrong one? Yes, I did. There we go. Take the engineers out and put the workers in. Because that gives me the potential option for this. And now I want to, before we finish this episode today, I want to go into one additional screen here, and that's the economy viewer. The economy viewer shows us how each of our resources, to use the term loosely, is currently being provided and used, and sort of a status balance here. So we have 3 coal piles that we're extracting from, or that we could extract from. We can't because the cold, but we're using a gathering post instead. You can see what the daily gain here is here on these gathering posts. I'm sure why that's at 10% efficiency, but either way, oh well. Maybe these are the 2 that are next to the steam, or the Coal Thumper, and this one is the one that's by itself out in the wild. Either way, you can see what's providing the coal to us. We can see what's using the coal here. Generator, of course, 3 steam hubs and 16 heaters that are activated. And then we can see our gain or loss, or net gain or loss of the coal by looking at this and seeing that we're getting 1,035 coal per day. We're consuming 472 per day. So we have a net gain here of just under 600. And then it also tells us the coal storage. We have the same type of thing here for each other resource that we're gathering on the map, and food is a problem that we'll have to deal with very soon. Actually, I can probably build that tonight, and then when the workers show up that we rescued, we'll be able to assign it. Health status talks about our medical posts and treated citizens, and then also housing. This tells us the status of all of our current housing and how much housing we have and how many vacant beds we have in our city. So we're going to build some more housing for the people that are coming from that rescue as well, and how many people live in tents and so on. But I just wanted to show especially this housing and this coal screen, because these are the ones that I use the most often for keeping an eye on how my city functions. Lesser extent, the wood, steel, and food, because they're simpler resources to track. And then the health status is all provided kind of down here, so I don't really worry about that as much either. But yeah, these are much easier to track up here. The coal, I like to see the difference in the bar, and then the housing obviously is good to know too. But I think this is where we're going to leave this episode for today. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.